What will I do when it comes to Echelon Prime? Now, nothing I say is financial advice. However, when I take a look at Prime, I get it. This month, earlier on, we saw it reach a new all-time low. But at the same time, I have not given up. And as we're entering into 2026, I'm going to be doing exactly what I've been doing in 2025. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. However, personally, I am dollar cost averaging into my favorite projects once a month. I'm not doing any more than that. I'm not doing any less than that either. That's just all I'm doing. Now, kind of my perception is this as well. I'm totally aware that a project recently reaching a new all-time low may not sound like a good thing, and I'm totally aware of that. But since my hypothetical sort of intention, right, I would say is the dollar cost average, I don't know if this is something I'm necessarily kind of upset with in that sense, because kind of my reaction is that if, let's say, I am wanting to buy shoes, right? And in the store, for whatever reason, the shoe reached a new all-time low for whatever reason. Let's say there's like a sale going on in the store, and I'm not saying it has anything to do with this. I'm just saying it's just a totally different example. But if I actually like the shoes, I don't know if I would like randomly not care about that. You know what I mean? Like, so one of the shoes that I like actually has just recently reached the lowest of all time. I don't know if I would complain about that. And also, kind of my reaction is this. Prime, despite having over 130,000 holders, currently, in terms of market cap, it's actually over 20 times lower, right? Again, in terms of market cap, when compared to where it was just back in, we take a look at it, April of 2024. Like, what? It's over 20 times lower than that? Now, I get it. Altcoins have not been doing the best. But the thing is, if let's say this, for whatever reason, went back to the market cap it did back in, April of 2024, kind of my reaction to that is, what would Bitcoin do if it went back to where it was back in April of 2024? What would Ethereum do if it went back to where it was back then? Ethereum and Bitcoin, they're not over 20 times lower than where they were back then, in April of 2024. But this is just my sort of reaction when it comes to this. Now, the thing is, even if I take a look at Prime, let's say back in January of 2025, so not even a year ago, it's almost a year ago, but I'm saying the market cap at that point was like around 530 million, basically around half a billion, right? But that's still, like, we're still over 10 times lower than that. Actually, over 15 times lower, but I'm just saying. Like, when I take a look at something like that, though, kind of my reaction is, I just saw that less than a year ago, and I don't think that was even altcoin season. But again, this is just my reaction, right? Am I necessarily going to stop believing in a project just because there's no altcoin season? Well, it depends. I mean, if the fundamentals didn't become good, or let's say like it was heading in the wrong direction fundamentally, then maybe, yeah, I would give up on the project. But in this case, I don't know what kind of thing really changed for Echelon in such a way where I was kind of like upset or like not really feeling that good fundamentally. Not in terms of price, but I'm just saying fundamentally. Because at the end of the day, this project, it's still focused on games, right? And it's not just only this, to me at least, that I see not doing the best. Like I see Gala not doing the best. I see Beam also not hypothetically doing the best, and also a bunch of other projects within the space. And not even just related to this space. I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, like we take a look at other projects too that don't have an aspect of this, right? We take a look at Polkadot, for instance, which is a layer zero. That's not doing the best. It reached a new all-time low actually back in October. But I'm just saying, like, this is just a situation to me where a bunch of projects are just not doing good because the sentiment when it comes to altcoins is just not doing the best. But what I find like pretty fascinating is that, so if this reached a new all-time low, right? Kind of like earlier this month. So basically, it's the lowest it's ever been in its history of its existence. Like, to me, okay, like I just saw, right, a market cap of over half a billion less than a year ago almost, right? And then now it just reached a new all-time low very recently. You know, I don't know if I'd complain actually because the fundamentals to me didn't seem to head in the wrong direction. It just the price isn't doing the best. So when I take a look at something like this, I just haven't given up. Do I know when exactly there's going to be an altcoin season? Absolutely not. There's no way for me to control that. Like, keep in mind, even just when it comes to Echelon, right? Or should I say when it comes to Prime, the holders currently that I can see is over 130,000. Me being just one, right, out of over 100,000 is not going to do anything. Like, whatever happens to this is going to happen with or without me. This is my reaction. Also, on top of that, this space overall, I'm not just saying when it comes to this. Like, as of right now, allegedly in this space, right, there's supposedly over 600 million owners. Actually, in the peak of 2021, like during the peak of that cycle that year, there was around 300 million. So actually, we have pretty much doubled that currently. But the thing is, me just being one out of over 600 million currently, I cannot do anything. But what did I learn from the past? Now, whatever happened in the past doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen this way or whatever way moving forward, but this is just what I realized from the past. Was I in this space back in 2013, 2014, 2015? Absolutely not, right? But did that space move without me? Yes, it did. We saw what happened throughout those years, and it did it without me. So, had I been in that space or not, it would have done like what it did, again, with or without me. But then I cannot go back in the past, right? So the thing is, I just take a look at the present, I take a look at what I did in the past, and I just kind of have this mindset where I want to be waiting for something because in the past, I was still living my life anyways. But then I was not caring about this space, so then it just did its thing without me. You know, kind of my reaction is this. If let's say, I just exit out of all my holdings, which I could do, but, I don't want to do that, but I'm saying, even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but whatever happens to this project moving forward, it's going to do whatever it wants to do with or without me, right? And also, if I am just living my life anyways in January of 2026, February, March, April, May, June, July, and so on, I'm still going to be having to live my life, right? So I'd rather be waiting for something than not. This is kind of my perception when it comes to why, I have not given up. Again, this is clearly just my own decision. Like, I don't have to do this. If someone told me to do this, right, I don't have to, right? I mean, the thing is, this is just kind of like me voluntarily doing it. Like, at the end of the day, I'm making my own decisions. Like, if I do research and I actually like a project, it is what it is. Like, that's it. But then, personally for me, I like to be waiting for something as opposed to not. So, yeah, I just haven't given up. My outlook when it comes to this space is I'm still staying patient. And I know that when it comes to this specific niche that it is focused on, it's not doing the best and also just the broader space overall. But then, you know what? My mindset is who knows what 2026 could be. So I'm still staying patient and I haven't given up. But I think that's pretty much about it. So I just wanted to make this video explaining my thoughts and my current perception and my mindset, I guess, as to what I will do. But I am not telling anyone to do anything. However, I am just, waiting. And I guess that's pretty much about it. It's kind of boring, but you know what? At the same time, what can I do about it? But yeah, we'll see what happens when it comes to next year in 2026. And I hope you all have a very nice holiday. And I hope you all have a very nice day. It's Mali the Captain, and I'll see you all in the next video.